Hi, I'm your host, Anand J. Sukadia, and this is the Limitless One Podcast. Join me on this journey as I interview the most inspirational souls who are tapping into their limitless blueprint on a mental, physical, and spiritual level to thrive in uncertain times. If you feel you are so much more than just this body, just this life, and want to tap into your limitless potential, you're in the right place. Here we go, starseeds. For as long as I can remember, I felt a deep spiritual calling to visit the sacred land of Peru. I know I've been there before in many lifetimes, and my recent trip there was a full affirmation of my intuition. Peru is forever connected to my heart, my mind, and my spirit. Today's guest on the Limitless One podcast is Rumi Llakta, the beautiful soul that was our tour guide on this once-in-a-lifetime expedition to unlock the ancient secrets of Peru. Inspired by his father's work as a stonemason and witnessing firsthand the advanced technology to shape the ancient megaliths by the original builders, Rumi dedicated his life to finding all the puzzle pieces to this mysterious story and bringing them together to show the world just how magical his homeland is. His first name, Rumi Llakta, means city of stone in Quechua. He is a seasoned tour guide and explorer with 17 years of experience in Peru's megalithic sites and his mission. With expertise in the secrets of these archaeological sites, he's adept at reading stones and is also well-versed in the lesser-known field of archaeoastronomy in this region. Welcome to the Limitless One podcast, everybody. I am here with Rumi, the amazing soul that I met a couple of weeks ago in Peru. He was our tour guide, and I could speak for probably every single person on our tour group that we were just so blown away by your enormous heart and your courage to speak your truth about the true history of Peru. And I don't think anyone on the trip was ready to rehear about just conventional history. And we really appreciate the fact that you really gave us some amazing knowledge as to what was really going on in this very sacred land. So yeah, so we're super excited to talk to you today.
Well, it's nice to see you again, Anat. So I am ready for all of the questions of today. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So let's start out. We're on the Limitless One podcast, and I wanted to, because you're such a deep thinker, I wanted to interested in knowing about what does living a limitless life mean to you?
For me, I don't have a limit. So I don't have a limit. Yes, I live every day, and I say every day, thank you so much for stay one more day here. I really appreciate my life, especially close to Machu Picchu. I really appreciate to stay close to this mountain. So that's why for me, there is not a limit. For me, I feel I have a mission over there to share all of the information, to share love with the people, to share a connection one more time with our Mother Nature and our Father in the sky. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about your background and what got you interested in dedicating your life towards learning about the history of Peru?
Well, first of all, my father, he was always a stonemason. He was very different than the other people in my little town. My town is in Machu Picchu, so my father started his house with stones. And always I was watching my father, very different than the other people, So and I asked to him, why you are like that, He told me, this is in our blood. We are Incas. Why we are not able to do our house with the stones, he said. So that's why, So I was interested in this civilization, in this culture. And I grow little by little with these costumes, with the music from the Incas every day. So even we live in a very rustical house like the Incas when I was a child. So here in Machu Picchu in the 90s was very different, with the racism, with everything. So my father, he put me a Quechua name. Quechua is the language of the mountains, So my name means stone, Rumi Llakta. Rumi means stone and Llakta means city. And for me, it was very hard to grow with this name, to be honest. But later I will learn and I started to appreciate my name because it was completely different than everyone, especially here in Peru. So everybody here in Peru So majority of the people, they have an Spanish names. So Carlos, Jose, Fernando. So, but my name is Rumi Llakta, imagine, no, in my classroom, very difficult. But this name for me was something to was changing my life. So especially I put more connection, especially with the people and also with the ancestors. And that's why I investigate very deep, especially about the ancient civilizations. So I was very interested always in the mountains, in the rocks, and how ancient they were. So especially because I learned lots of histories for my past and for my parents, especially, then I studied, tourism in the university. So always for me, all the histories over there, they were, to be honest, very boring. Always the same. Even when I finished to study, I was working on the Inca Trail for 12 years approximately, doing hikes in the mountains. So every day, hiking the mountains, taking people, 15, 20 people. So over there, I was listening every day, different perspectives of different tour guides also, because I started as assistant guy, because when you finish the tourism, you start as assistant, not straight like the head guy. And then when I was listening all the histories, I was learning. Everybody has his knowledge, everybody has his passion. But then, by myself, I was more investigating, and I was doing more connection with Mother Earth, also with the ruins, with the ancestral sites. And then I thought all the history they were telling us, they don't were the real, to be honest. All the history, especially here in Peru, was writing by the conquerors. And it was sad, this part of our history. That's the reason I decided to go very deep in the real history of Peru, following my heart, especially my heart. Every day I was looking information, asking, traveling, taking photos, videos, watching. And then one day, after many years, I was investigating. I got calls also from book writers. One day, one señor, he called me. His name was Jesus Gamarra Farfan. Actually, he was in the last program of Graham Hancock. So he was one of the guys in the program Apocalypse of the Past. One day, and he said, Rumi, I know what you post in your Instagram. So I would like to share with you something. So I have a book. So will be nice, if you come to my house. I went his house, and I got this amazing book. So I will show you. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, you kept referring to this book, and it was really incredible. You had it in your backpack the whole time, and you showed me some of the pictures and everything. It was really incredible in there.
Oh yeah. Well, so actually, no. So the name of the book is Paraguayso. So and the writer is Jesus Gamarra, and he say here in the introduction, he say the demonstration and the evidence to find the ancient paradise on the earth and the real Babel Tower and the capital of the Atlantida in Cusco, he say. So then, per 3 hours, he was sharing with me, his special book. Very, very deep, very interesting. He has all the proofs of the ancient architectures. He told me per 100 years, he was investigating with his father. He told me my father started this investigation, and then me. And when I listened his history of this señor, this Mr. Jesus Gamarra, I say this is one of the things that I am looking for. So this was the beginning, but not everything.
Yeah.
So so
beautiful. Yeah, sometimes when we hear truth, it just opens up our perspective so much, and it inspires us to really dive deep into it. When we're told lies, immediately our soul knows this is not something that I can believe or I can get behind, right? And there's so many things in the world that there's lies being told, and they expect you to believe everything. So just to give a little perspective, if you could just briefly share, what is the traditional mainstream history of the, the area, and then we can go into what really, Jesus taught you, and then from your own discoveries.
So here the history say to the Incas they have only 100 years. So I think so our history was changing, for the especially for the Spanish. So especially to rule in our country, because always, so the cultures they touch the deep of the civilizations. When you change the history, you can control what you want. So that is the real. That's why, so I was investigating, and I say this is not truth. So, well, probably I have to investigate more. And then I went to the Lake Titicaca, so especially to Lake Titicaca. And then, so my father told me, you have to visit one island, especially the island of the moon and the island of the sun. So, and over there, I found another book, so called Copacabana de los Incas. So in that book, when I was reading in the bus, when I went with my father to Tiwanaku, especially to the probably one of the ancient sites of the earth. So, well, this book was written in the 16th century by one Spanish priest, copying from the Incas priest. His name is Fray Jesus Vizcarra Fabre. In this book, when I was opening and when I was reading, I found documents, I found lots of proofs to, as really no, the Incas are not new, are not 100 years and are not coming from, even from 1,000 years ago. So here, as let's say the Incas, they have 700 years. But behind that, in this book also say to the Incas, they were here at the last time, and also say to the Incas they were restoring lots of megalithic sites in Peru, especially Sacsayhuaman, or lots of, according Mr. Jesus Gamarra, he say, more than the 70% of the megalithic sites are located here around Cusco. So when I was watching that, I say, okay, so, this could be possible. Yes. And here in this book say to, talk about two different species of humans also. And also in Peru, it's easy to prove because when I was investigating the human skeletons and the human skulls, especially in Nazca, and especially in Paracas, and especially around the Lake Titicaca, you are able to see the difference of the people. And if you go very deep, and if you pay attention very well, the skulls and the morphology, of everything, it's completely different. It's not the same. So it's even even in the background of the skull it has an extra bone.
Yeah.
And well, so this for me was what? Why not could be possible? No, another history. So, and then, so in the book of Mr. Jesus Gamarra say, here we're living ancient cultures before the Inca, especially from 80,000 years to 30,000 years, and to the last one, 10,000 years ago, he say. Three human generations, he say, and out.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I know that you talked about, one of the first days we were on the tour, you talked about the skulls and how they were finding skulls of all different types of humans, and many of them were different races. Like you have redheaded ones, you have white, you have yellow, you have brown, you have all different types. And that they were trying to, in the museums, they were trying to actually paint them all brown just to keep the history very tight and, and make sure that everybody thinks, okay, this is just one type of people. But you were showing us, and we also visited the Waikiki skeleton, where, it was an elongated skull. So like this alien type skull, very similar to the Egyptian, gods that had the elongated skulls as well. It's fascinating to see that, human history is so different than what we imagine it, or what we are taught it to be believe.
And then, so to prove to here it was the original Atlantida, I went inside the stars. I went inside the constellations. I was looking on the constellations, to prove, no, so probably could be here the real navel of the world. So especially the Incas, when they landed here, when they arrived here, according to the legends, they say they were coming from Lake Titicaca after one great disaster and after one great flood, they say, because we have also the legend of the great flood. I thought that great flood only come from the Bible. I thought in the past probably it's from the Bible, but no, it's real. So many people from the Andes, especially from the top of the mountains, they talk always about the great flood. And then, so the Incas, they were walking, especially to the navel of the world. So according to our legend, with one special stick, golden stick, today received from God, they say, not from the sun, they say. And then when they arrived to the navel of the world, that stick made by gold, they were moving, and then God said, "This is the place where you have to put the stick, because this is the navel of the world." And then the Incas, they did the foundation in Cusco. Probably the Incas, they refound the ancient place, the ancient megalithic sites, the ancient temples. That's why they choose to return and to rebuild this area. So that is my proposition, but I thought it was only of mine. But no, there are many chronics and there are many writers today say the same. So in myself, I put attention in this symbol, especially here. There is in my necklace.
It's the chacruna.
Yeah, exactly. So we call chacana.
Chacana, sorry.
I thought this symbol probably has the key to know where we are, because this is a kind of symbol. So always you are able to find in the archaeological sites. There are chacanas of 3 points, there are chacanas of 7 points, and there are chacanas of 4 points. So then I was investigating and I was using my compass, and I was using also astronomy and also investigating astronomy of the ancient culture of the world, no? India, Egypt, also no Maya, also Inca, everywhere, no. And one day I went to investigate in the deep jungle in Peru. I went to one place called Vilcabamba. So I was watching the megalithic site over there, and I was watching the symbol also of the Chacana. And I was at night there, especially in June. I was at night watching the sky, especially at night when I saw something very purple, a strong purple in the sky to the Chacana was facing. And then I was investigating which constellation this purple star could be. I asked it in my mind. That happened 7 years ago. No, now, no, 7 years ago, no. So what is this purple constellation? I thought in my mind. Then so I was looking information, and then I found another book. So from other mister, his name is Carlos Milla. He's an architect. He's from the southern part of Peru called Puno, and he's a real investigator. He's a mathematic, and he put all himself now investigating the constellations in the ancient times. And finally, I found in his book the purple constellation, and he say Orion. And then what? Orion? They say what? And then I was investigating India. I was investigating also Egypt. I was investigating also culture Maya. No, all the ancient cultures around the world. No, so, and then I say, but why the humans we point Orion? Why? It could be something over there interesting. Why also in Peru? And later, when I found Shiva was Orion, and also Machu Picchu was Orion, was what? And then so I was watching. That is the first constellation I found, the first constellation, and then I discovered to Orion, especially here in my book, in Machu Picchu, in 21 of June, he pointed, especially with the mountain Huayna Picchu, Orion, and the sun, the three together. So, and then I say, wow, so spectacular.
Yeah, summer solstice, right? June 21st.
In Peru, it's in the winter solstice.
Oh, winter solstice, that's right, because it's the opposite.
Exactly, because the Incas, they really appreciate the winter solstice because the sun is small, is baby. So not the big sun, just the small sun, because they appreciate the baby, the innocence. So I think for them that was God, the innocence of the universe. And later I was investigating more and more and more. And then I found to the sun, in our beliefs, it was a portal to Orion. I found that. Oh wow! And then I was in Machu Picchu using a Stellarium. I download Stellarium also, and watching every night the stars and Orion. And in at the middle of the day, when I was in Machu Picchu at 12 p.m., I saw Orion with the sun. They were together,
Wow.
and then that's true. That's true. And yes, even if you find in a book, and even I am able to prove that's true because I took a screenshot also in my cell phone in the Stellarium. And also I was watching at night also Orion. And then I said, well, so it's true. And then I was watching the other mountain. I was watching Machu Picchu, no Huayna Picchu anymore, because Huayna Picchu we know very well is Orion. But what is Machu Picchu? I was investigating, very deep investigation, especially in our cosmovision. Always we see two kind of symbols. One of the symbols is the snake, and one of the symbols is the puma, or the lion, or any cat could be, no? But the snake, and always you find the puma together. That two animals. But I was asking why the snake and why the puma? At that time, in my mind, it was still as Catholic thinking, no, as a religiosity, no, thinking to the snake was not good, no, so thinking that the snake is not very good, no, so for us, no, and then I was going more and more and more deep, and I found to Amaru in Quechua language is the Milky Way. So, and that was the representation of the snake. That's why the ancient Incas, and also before the Incas, we call Huiracocharunas, because Huiracocharunas, this is a real, there are documents of these people who were living here, especially in this book, especially in this book is a very special book, is from the 16th century. Here, the writer is called Huamampo Magayala. In his book, he always talk about three generations of humans. He talk about always a first generation of Wari Indians, he say. He talk always about the first generation of humans. They say first generation Wari Indians, he say. And then he talk about the Wari, still the Wari. You are able to see the Wari culture is here. And then he talk about the Huiracocharunas also. And then he talk about the Incas. He never talk about only one people. And he put the symbols of the Incas, the snake and the puma. In this special book, he say also, even before the Spanish and everyone here in America were living other generations of humans. It's very interesting book because it's from 16th century.
Wow.
So remember here, Peru, in Peru also we are still keeping books from 16th century. So very ancient books too. We are able to find still in the bibliotheks. That's the book, Waman Pomadaya.
Beautiful.
So, and then when I found lots of evidence, I found to Machu Picchu and Cusco. It was the sun and the snake around. Then I was watching also all the symbology, especially the Temple of the Sun. I am able to see that symbology here. You are able to see the two lighters to pass, especially through the two windows in the Temple of the Sun. This is pointing the center. That is for the sun, and this is for Orion. And you are able to see a wall around it. This is the snake. And then you are able to see more evidence in the Andes, especially in the Inca Andes. The kings they were able to use this kind of symbology. So you are able to see in the Andes always two faces, always the puma, and the snake. And this calendar, it's similar than the Mayas calendar, than the Egyptians, than the Indian calendars, than all of the ancient calendars. And then I say, why? So the Incas, they keep this knowledge. We are far away of the world, so this is South
Very
America.
far. There's nothing close to us in Peru.
Far away. So, and then finally, in one ancient document, well, I found also the symbol of here I have. You are able to see. This is the symbol of the writer Wamampo Madayala. This is a snake eating the tail.
Yeah.
And also I found also in Egypt, here in Egypt, also the symbol of the benceno, also the symbol of the alchemy. And then I thought, what? And I thought, oh, the constellation, the proof. When I opened in the constellation, I understood this symbol, the chacana. And then I understood this symbol is the symbol of Viracocha, the symbol of the god, the sacred geometry. Then I was watching this sacred geometry in all of the symbols of the world, especially in India, also in the pyramids of the Maya, and also in the pyramids in Egypt. I was watching the all of these temples, they have in secretly inside this symbol. And then I thought the Southern Cross, wow. And then Orion together. This is the symbol of the Southern Cross and Orion together. In 21 of June, Orion is the representation of the three stars, the three steps. Orion only move in the center of the planet. That's why it's called navel, no, in the way of the sun, no, around. And the Southern Cross in 21 of June is in the top of the Machu Picchu mountain. And the Incas, they did or the Incas, I don't know, probably even before the Incas. Jesus Gamarra, he said this culture, this is called Intihuatana, when the sun stops, no, or the chair of the sun, I understand like that. Jesus Gamarra said to this stone was made for the first generations of humans. So 80,000 or 70,000, he say. He in his book he has a proofs. So he say a long time ago, 80,000 years ago, in the planet was less gravity. That's why everything was bigger. That's why even the megafauna was able to grow like that.
Animals, trees, everything, mountains, everything was much bigger. Yeah, a lot more oxygenation and less gravity.
Exactly, less gravity, he say. And he say those kind of buildings like Sacsayhuaman or like Egypt, like India, these ancient buildings, they were made no in our normal history of the time. He say this was made as less 80,000 years old. And he say in his book, not me, he say in his book, Cusco, it was the capital 2 times, even 3 times, he say. First of the Lemurians, he say, and he called Hanampacha culture. And then he called the second, the Atlantida, no? So he called Urampacha. And in Cusco, it's possible to see the three kinds of architectures. So when we were walking together, I show you it's very different. It's not the same. Uh-huh.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we were doing a walking tour and we would see these massive megaliths they looked like they were glued together. There was literally no space in between. You could even put a piece of paper in them, perfectly aligned. Then you have, I guess, the next culture, which instead of Lemurian 8,000 years, you have the Atlanteans 30,000 years, and you have smaller stones that were still pretty well, put together. And then you have afterwards, you have the Incan, which is like much smaller rocks. They use mud, almost like brick and mortar and stuff. And you could tell like the oldest stuff was the most advanced. Literally no imperfections on the stones. And then Atlantean, still great, but a little bit less. And then you have the Incans, which we could probably do that technology now. There was nothing special about compared to the Lemurian stuff that we saw. And we'll post some pictures on the YouTube as well as the podcast blog showing how incredible these ancient sites are. You Literally, it looked like it was sliced with a butter knife, these massive, massive megaliths that were razor sharp. You could even put your finger on some of these edges and you could cut yourself. They're so sharp.
Exactly. And then he, there are still some young people in Peru. Today are starting to understand. And we were looking for lots of the images. Here I am able to show you the difference. Yes, this is of course Homo sapiens. No, it's modern. No, in my belief, for me, they are not extraterrestrials. No, but the humans, yes. Another species of humans, probably yes. So it's difficult to say no. Even Brian Foister, he had his own museum in the coast of Peru, in Paracas. He was making all the DNA tests, and he say they are not completely similar than the humans, no. So especially he say around the Lake Titicaca and in the southern part of Cusco, you were able to find these human bones, especially in the only in the Incas. He say royal class, no in the people. He said, but here, for example, you are able to see even the draws of Guamampo Madayala in the book What I Facing, and he's representing very well, no, the sides of the heads of the people, and also here, look,
Much different skulls, yeah.
very different. He did. So when I was watching that, well, so the evidence would be real, and also with the proofs of the constellations, and also with that, so probably the real north, according to the writer Carlos Milla, is not the north,
Yeah.
the Southern Cross. And close the Southern Cross, there are two stars, especially together, and this is the eye of the. I'm not sure if you will be able to see, but this is the Southern Cross, and these are the two, and these two eyes are the representation of the dragon and the
Snake eating its own tail.
and the sun. The sun is
Yeah.
sun is the ambassador of our Milky Way.
Yeah. And just to go back to the skulls, so like, you know, he was showing pictures of elongated skulls, and you know, modern mainstream archaeologists say, oh, you know, these people just did skull binding so that the heads would be elongated, and it was like a manufactured thing. They didn't naturally have it. So then, if that's the case, let's just assume that's the case. Like, so why did they want to have elongated skulls? They were trying to mimic the people of the past, the ancient ancestors, right? So either way, that theory is a fallacy to say that, you know, if they didn't have anyone to want to mimic, why would you try to bind your own skull or the kids' skulls?
Exactly, especially in this book of it's called Tiwanaku, Simon Weisbart. I found in his book, he said to in the 60s, because this book is from the 60s to 70s, was made in Peru and also in Lima. The writer Simon Weisbart, he said to all when the archaeologists they found something different or one specimen very different when they were dating, especially with radiocarbon 14. It is different, he said. They were putting one side or putting the mummies, for example, inside of boxes, just saving, trying to don't say the truth. He said that in his book. So with this, all of the evidence too, I was looking and looking and looking because there are more evidence. So that history, so we are sharing could be true.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're living in a time now where all truths are being revealed. So, you know, everywhere around the world, there's new technologies, new discoveries being made in these sites. And I'm so excited about now with the internet, you can't hide or you can't keep like sweeping this stuff under the rug. People have to address, you know, these ancient sites and how powerful they are. And you know, I loved going to visit a lot of the sites with you. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the sites we visited, such as Sacsayhuaman and Coricancha and these temples, and just tell us a little bit about what your take on why they were built and, you know, some of their uses?
Well, so for me, this place is Sacsayhuamán. Since I was a little boy, I went there. So for me, it was wow, it's extremely incredible. And I thought probably the history, so what the in the schools in Peru, on the universities in Peru, they say is not true because you are able to see the erosion, especially in many of the temples. We were always talking with the ancient people here, also, no, with the elder people, no. So and they say, no, this was made by the Gentiles. They say, no, they call the to the giants, to those people, they call Gentiles. They say this is not made by the people. So, and for me, I was walking many years inside of caves, looking for more investigation. In the past, when I started not to guide this kind of tours, I wasn't be able to prove my theory because in the past I didn't join my all the proofs until now. But all of this experience was for me growing little by little. And now I'm able to say, yes, could be possible, could be really possible. So we are watching really ancient sites, and they demanded real investigators, real archaeologists with real open mind, uh, people with good heart to really know and to really write the true history of the humans. Because I think so they try to follow one simple history because they want to control even our history of the humans. That's the reason. But when you know to the history is very different, even in your life you understand the spirituality. So that's why for me it was changing my mind a lot. So in the past I was a real evolutionistic person. Then when I was investigating the constellations, the stars, and all of these ancient sites, especially we call wakas and temples, then my mind was changing. Was I was thinking, no, so probably what happened with these people like that? Why? What the resets of all the cultures of the world? What happened with the Egyptians? What happened with people from India, from the ancient temples? I thought, what happened with the Mayas? So why that histories of all of these people are in silence, I thought? Why nobody pay attention the history, for example, of the Mahabharata, especially Peru, or especially in the Occidental cultures? We don't nobody pay attention when they say 10,000, 15,000, 30,000. They were wars,
It
nuclear
doesn't
wars.
mean anything, right? Because you can't comprehend it with our lifespans of only being 100 years and, the history that we're told. So it's hard for people to even imagine there could have been life, civilizations, thriving technologies that are way more advanced than what we have now.
Exactly. So because our ancestors they talk also about gods, ancient gods. Not to the ancient gods, they got powers, and we were living ruling by them. No, so so this history could be real, especially in Nazca. When you go to Nazca, you are able to see lots of vitrification on the stones. So and they looks to over there they were probably an ancient wars because also in Nazca, where are the famous lines? I found lots of symbology similar than the civilization of India and similar than the civilization of Mesopotamia. Lots of parallelism,
Mhm.
lots in especially the gods. Especially, I found Shiva. I found also the god also of we call Kong here, especially the death gods. They are very similar parallelism, and I think why similar could be possible to the Earth long time ago. It was only one, and then the Earth was split.
Yeah.
Probably, who knows? Actually, no.
Yeah.
So
I just had somebody on my podcast last week and we talked a deep dive into Indian ancient civilizations. And he was talking about in the Mahabharata and many different ancient texts. They said if you take the globe and you put a hole right through India, going through inner earth and everything, you come out on the other side. It's Peru. So there could be very well, these ancient tunneling systems or technologies that people use to get through to the other side, and also shared technologies, shared culture, shared a lot of knowledge.
Especially also another symbol to I found is the trident, especially in the coast of Peru, especially one mountain is facing the ocean, is facing the west. And also I found this trident in the symbol of the scientists of the Incas, especially in the front. So all of this symbology is not like the people believe. It's not like a. It's something else. So I will show you in my book.
Yeah. In the town square in Cusco, you have that statue. Is that Viracocha with the trident?
No. They don't have the
Oh, okay.
Vira. They have in this, especially here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Mhm. Viracocha. This symbol is Viracocha. Because it's the snake and it's the puma together. And this is the Milky Way. It's like the sun in the center and Milky Way around. So just the people and the archaeologists don't understand because they don't have an open mind and they don't care of the symbology.
Yeah.
I think the snake was destroyed in our culture because for the Catholic religion, the snake was something, it was a devil. That's why they destroy all of the evidence of the snake. Even in Puno, there is one portal, one gate, that now is called Aramu Muru. But the real name is not Aramu, it's Amaru Muru. So from that, you are able to see somebody was even changing the names of the sites. And that's why so we lose our ancient knowledge here also. But we recording and we are learning again. Exactly. Uh-huh.
Beautiful. Yeah. So one of the things I want to talk to you about is the tunnels that we went to in Cusco, especially when we went to Zona X. And you took us down these massive tunnels. We only went a few feet down, but tell us a little bit about what you know about them. And obviously these things go down through the entire cities into Cusco. And what were they there for? Have you ever gone all the way down? Do you know anyone that's really traveled further down? It was quite incredible to see and very scary as well.
It's very scary, But since I was a little boy, when we went to Cusco, always we were able to listen histories of the people of Cusco, especially of our fathers, grandfathers. They say they were talking about chincanas. Chincanas are the ancient caves. And they say in the chincanas, they told us in the chincanas is where is gold, is where the Incas, they were fixing gold, trying to escape the Spanish. And also there are many histories to lots of Spanish priests and lots of people. They were trying to look for the Inca gold. They were inside of the caves of Cusco City. In the 70s, one of the main entrance to the underground of Cusco was closed. Especially, there are two special gates, completely proofs. One of the gates is in Coricancha, in the Temple of the Sun, in the center of Cusco City, and the other one is in the upper part of Sacsayhuaman. Well, actually, there is a huge rock called Chincana Grande. Over there, especially the priests and also the municipality of Cusco, they use explosion, they use dynamite to close the entrance to the Chincana because lots of people used to go under the Chincanas looking for gold. These special Chincanas, actually, we don't know why are over there, but in the 2007, in the 2010 also, some investigators from Russia, they come using georadares to investigate if it's truth or not. And finally, they were using in the top of Sacsayhuaman the georadars, and they found there is a big system of lots of caves under Cusco City. That's the proof to everything, though was made by the Incas, they were made before in the palace. Jesus Gamarra, he said, the first people, the first humans, he say, the real history of the Bible is not in Mesopotamia. He say in his book called Paraguayso. Jesus Gamarra believed that in the Bible, no, that is the description of the rivers, no, where it could be the paradise, no, between the river, no, say Tigris and no, something else. He described no where they were the paradise, but Jesus Gamarra said probably the writers of the Bible they use that names, but they got different names because some part of the Bibles, especially inside of Exodus, is a copy of Mesopotamia legends. So because the Bible is not ancient like Mesopotamia, no.
Yeah.
So probably the Mesopotamians they got one idea of one ancient paradise also, and they wrote about that. They wrote to all the humans we were together
Mm-hmm.
in one big building, especially to become as gods.
Yeah.
Gamarra, no, he say Sacsayhuamán, that megalithic site in Cusco, about 3,600 meters above sea level, is not in sea level, it's 3,600. Actually, the symbology of this is like the three snakes. And in the center, there were two big tower like, and it has 12. I show you to you has 12 lines facing the world.
Yeah.
According to Jesus Gamarra, the real name of Sacsayhuamán is not Sacsayhuamán, it's Etemanenki, the first real original tower of Babel.
Oh,
And then
wow.
was destroyed, this place. And then that's why it's possible to see the evidence around Sacsayhuamán of big destruction. You are able to see huge rocks, like rocks probably 500 tons, they are in opposite way.
Yeah.
And well, so Jesus Gamarra say to all of these ancient legends about, for example, Poseida, Atlantis, Paraguay, so Paradise, Olympia, no, lots of ancient, lots of ancient myths, no, from one
Mm-hmm.
city of the god. He say was really Cusco. He say another proof is to Peru as always with lots of gold. It's a place of gold actually. So when the Spanish they come to Cusco, even the roof, even the animals, everything was made on gold, and not only one kind of gold, different kind of alliations of golds until 24 kilats, and many kinds of golds they were. And Jesus Gamarra he say that's the proof to the Incas. They were the herederos, or they got the heritage of the Atlantis. That's the reason they knew how to make different kind of alliations of gold. The normal archaeology they don't say that. They say to the Incas they knew only stones or simple things, but they never write about the gold. Because the Spanish they took all the gold from Peru, and even some of the golds they don't wear gold. They took everything just shining.
Yeah.
That we lost all of majority of the evidence.
Yeah,
Especially
they absolutely. They had complete knowledge of metallurgy, but also like manipulating rock. Like, how do you, without the technology that they must have had that was so much more advanced, how were they able to lift 700 to 800 ton stones? And you said a lot of times they brought it from the other side of the mountain. So they literally had to bring it over the mountain to bring it to the other side. And it's just wild to think about how they were able to do this.
exactly. So the Incas they were trying to copy to the ancient Atlantis. One of his temples, but in the proofs when they were trying to do with 20,000 people, there is one history to one of these big megalithics. They collapsed and they killed 3,000 people. So, and the Incas say that's enough. We don't want to copy the ancient buildings. This is a boost we have, especially in Peru. This history comes from Mariátegui. Uh-huh. Mhm.
Unbelievable. So, what have you had any mystical experiences at any of these ancient sites that just expanded your own spiritual insights?
Well, so especially before to know why Machu Picchu is this symbol, uh, one day, to be honest, I was praying in my house, especially heat, in my house. At 3 p.m., I was, reading, the Bible, to be honest, and I was getting asleep. And then, so I got a very deep vision because I consider it vision. I don't consider it a normal dream. So three triangles comes to me, and that three triangles they took me to Machu Picchu. Like, and then I was like, "What I see here? Wow!" And then the triangles they took me in the front of the Machu Picchu mountain. I was then and I saw the triangles. They were like shining as a fire, and I was watching the sky, and then this symbol was coming from the sky, purple color. And then I say, why? But why this symbol is Machu Picchu? And then I was thinking in my dream, why? I don't understand why Machu Picchu could be this symbol. And then so when I found in the constellations and all of the symbology, and I found this is true. This symbol is the map of Machu Picchu, especially of Huayna Picchu. And when I climbed the mountain, I was making meditation in the top. Yes, and I was on the Temple of the Sun after my meditation, and I saw lots of windows. And through these windows, I saw all the cultures of the world. I saw the Indians, I saw the Romans, I saw the Egyptians, I saw the ancient cultures. And it was one rock facing to the sky. And I was watching the sky, and one more time, this symbol was coming down. I don't know why I happen this kind of dreams, but this is a real dreams and real visions. What I got, I am not inventing, this kind of symbology or this kind of visions. So that was coming to me. And even I was losing my faith. But when I was thinking in this symbol and also in my dreams and also in my visions, they return all the time to be balanced in our life. Uh-huh.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And how, like, do you leave any room for the theory of extraterrestrials having an impact on these ancient civilizations? What is your feeling? Anyone else that you follow or you respect their work, do they talk about it?
Well, so there are lots of believers, especially in Peru, of extraterrestrial believers. It's easy to understand why, because they are different kind of mummies, especially on caves. I saw mummies; they look like very, very different than the humans, and it's very easy to say, they are extraterrestrials. So, to be honest, I was looking for that also. Uh, I was also walking at night on the mountains. I saw only lights, trying to connect probably with us, but what I never was able to see one extraterrestrial in my front, to be honest. So could be possible, because in one of these books, also I found, especially I have one book I don't have here, it's in my room, but it's called Yachay, the sacred ideology of the Incas. They say to the Huiracocharunas and Warirunas, in this book say they are extraterrestrials, they say. So I don't know why they say that, but over there I was reading that history. So uh, yes,
Very interesting. And based on this last trip that we went on, we had 60 people. Robert Edward Grant obviously led the expedition along with you and Cusco native. Did you learn anything new? Did you have any discoveries that like really blew your mind with the energy of this particular group?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, it was very big learning, especially of everybody of you, especially also of Robert. So for me, it was an impact to know to Robert was talking also about Orion. So I say, why? Wow! When I was watching, especially the conference, I was listening all of the ancient sites and also the rocks. So and I was learning a lot about and to be also focused. also in the rocks. So I saw lots of symbols from the Lemuria and also from the Atlantis. Robert was able to see because I think everybody has different skills. Everybody is special. So the only thing so we have to know is to discover. So even when we did the circle, so to be honest, I feel the energy. So without nothing, no, without any
Any
plan.
ayahuasca.
Now when we join together, so
Yeah.
I say in my mind, no, I will do with the group, no, to learn, no, and I was making, no, what Robert say and what everybody, no, and I hold the hands and I really feel it, no, the energy coming through everyone, and then after I was touching everybody, my energy was still shaking my hands, and since that time, no, I learned to the spiritual world and also the energy probably is the real so the real history of our planet. So probably lots of our histories, they were manipulated to lose this kind of beliefs. So
Yeah, I think that especially going to a lot of these sites, they all hold a memory. And when you have an elevated conscious group of people going there and connecting with that same frequency, I think so many of these the discoveries just, came about for us because we were really respecting the land, asking for permission to enter these sites and, coming in with pure energy. It was very palatable. I had some really deep spiritual experiences just being in the land alone and meditating in some of the caves and doing om and just like feeling the beauty of this place and how these ancient people from 80,000 years ago, they built this, but they also built it with knowing that many years down the road some other people are going to come and find it and really connect with it, and they did it out of love as well. That's one of the things I got when I went to Egypt as well. When they built these beautiful hieroglyphs and these temples and everything, they made it with such love, and you feel it when you go to these sites. So same thing I felt in Peru as well.
yes, I think it's a pilgrimage, no, to go to these ancient places around the earth to feel, no, the ancient temples, Shiva temple, no, Hare Krishna temples, also Egyptian temples, also in Jerusalem, also in Nepal, also by the Mayas, also Stonehenge, also no in Peru, no. So they are pilgrimage. For me, all of these rocks split around the world. They are places where we have to return and remember our ancient memories, to remember who really we are and why we are here, what kind of mission we have here. So probably one day I will go little by little. Hopefully God wanted, so but in May I am going to the Easter Island.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
probably not. So I am going there, no. So if God wanted, I say always be humble. Well, so I think if the people they have the possibilities, they should go to these ancient temples to remember and to have a mission for life, to have one one beautiful reason to live. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It gives you so much perspective on life. And like you said, it's a remembrance. I truly believe that I've been to these places before, not in this life, but in previous lifetimes. And it just felt like a homecoming to not only connect with the people that were in the group, but also to step my foot on this home of mine that I used to have. For anyone that is, looking to visit or tourists, how can you suggest they can authentically engage with these sites with also having true respect for the sites as well?
Engage with the site. I think the most important is go with respect and with an open mind and with an open heart.
Hmm.
So with humility, you will find always the guards because all of these places they have guards. They have people today are watching the ancient temples and today are able to share with you. Yes, you have to call with your heart,
Yeah.
to call with humble, and they come to you. Could be the more simple person. So it doesn't matter how they look. So, but sometimes people they look always know how looks the person, how
Mhm.
imagination, no, but they don't care of the simple people, to be honest. But always I was this kind of people to was listening to everybody. Even more rustical people, they are able to know more things than us. So that when I went ancient places, they were receiving me always with love, sharing me symbols. Look that. So watch that. Teaching to you, you know, and so I think my next destination one day is my dream go, for example, to Shiva Temple and also Nepal. So I am thinking to take my father there, no? So because in my life, to be honest, I was there. I was there. I was a priest also there in that temples. That's why I have a big connection also with Hare Krishna and also with Buddha. I don't know why, but it could be. No, I don't know. But
Absolutely. The heart tells you. And, just speaking of that is like, I think the entryway to any amazing experience in life is when you have an open heart. Our mind can be the biggest block in our lives, and the heart can be the biggest opener. So that's one thing, I was lucky enough to have an experience with ayahuasca, this great medicine from Peru, years ago. And it just showed me that, hey, if you're living in your heart, then every single door opens to you. But the minute you start closing it, then that's when you're going to run into trouble in life.
oh yes, so that's the reason. So when I was learning all of these things, I was learning the real simple life. The life is so simple. So I see everybody the same. In my case, I see everyone the same, and I respect everybody the same. Mhm.
Beautiful. Now, Rumi, if you had the opportunity to put resources into any type of discoveries or archaeological sites, what's something that you would like to see being done in Peru? Any specific places that, hey, listen, if we can just go inside this place or have access to this or dig here, I feel that the next level of the next mystery is going to be unlocked.
Oof. To be honest, in Peru is 220,000 sites. So every site where you go, oof, you can see different things. For example, in the next month, I am going to Chavin.
Chavin?
Chavin,
Yeah.
Panther. So I found in the book of Mr. Jesus Gamarra to this also this is a pre-diluvian or pre great flood building. I am going there to recognize new symbology, new things, and to feel a connection, especially with this site. I think this Chavin is the ancient legends of Greece. They talk about Chavin, especially of the person Medusa,
Yeah.
especially Medusa with Prometheus, all of this history.
Prometheus, yeah.
I
Right.
think from Chavin. So well, I am looking for parallelism and also from this kind of symbology because I saw all of the symbols in Chavin and they really look similar than the gods from the Greece and different gods from Europe.
Wow.
Like,
Amazing.
the people of the feline people.
Yeah, feline people. Yeah.
Feline.
Amazing.
Yeah, mhm. I am going
So,
to.
wow. So, Rumi, why do you think you came here to Earth as Rumi, and what did you want to experience?
Who is a deep question? Well, when I was young, the life, to be honest, was hard for me, no easy. But I think when the life is hard, you learn more because when you in your life you have different provings or proofs, and you pass, you are able to say, well, you are stronger little by little. Well, so to be honest, I am here because I have a mission. My mission is to remember the people to we should return to our connection with Mother Earth and with Father. Probably you say no, so I listen that of everybody, but my mission is to show with the constellation, to show with the symbology. I have these skills to recognize the symbols, to recognize the energy, uh, to connect with the spiritual world. To be honest, it's hard with me. Even when I teach this kind of things, I know very well. I was talking with Robert. The other energy is following to me too much to me in dreams. They are trying to scare me all the time. In my stomach through dreams. So I know very well because since I was a little boy, always bad dreams, always. But sometimes also good dreams, especially of connections with God.
Mhm.
I got different mystical experience. Different. I passed the cancer with my father. I climbed the mountain, when my father was with cancer. And I pray in the mountain or facing the constellations, the star. No? So that's the reason I think I am here to share. We are here for something, and we have a reason for living, and we don't have to scare of death. So because people is in the life is always scaring of death. Actually, it's a war control because people they scare too much of death. All the news they are making for always to scare people. When you turn on the television, you see wars, you see lots of crimes, lots of horrible things, and you say in your mind, horrible. We are like animals. We are like monkeys. We should be like that. Why we should live? No, I don't believe anymore in that. There are lots of dead people, lots of childs are that. I believe God is very different than all the histories they tell about him. I believe God is in us and his energy. I am discovering little by little. I to be honest, I don't know what I know. Still humble because I am learning, to be honest. I'm not able to say, yes, I am. No, I am in the way. Hopefully one day, so uh, even I will be able to give peace to the people, no? To give love to the people, to teach the people love. Especially we are here to love. That's the reason there are dogs over there, there are cats living close to us. Uh, and the babies, the child, I am a father, no? So when you see your child, well, you remember, no, how beautiful is the world, and you have a reason for live. So it's to still here, no? So to keep the faith to this world which change one day, and everybody will live on peace. So I think that's for me my faith to live, to teach to live in peace, the people, especially together, no fighting between each others.
Yeah, you are an incredible soul, such a beautiful soul. We were so inspired by you the whole time. Everybody just talked about how much they loved you, or how much they love you in present moments, and we were just so blessed to have you with us on that tour. How can we learn more about you? And if if anyone listening wants to explore Peru with you, what is the best way to get in touch?
Well, you can write me through Instagram if you want to do the tour. My Instagram is Peru Megalítico. My name is Rumi Alegria. Well, so if you want to do a big connection, because I do this for my mission, so you can contact to me, so thank you for that.
Of course, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. It was such a pleasure to recap our trip and be around your energy again. And I'm looking forward to next time bringing my family and my son, who's 9 months old, to explore Peru. And we're obviously going to reach out to you to take us around for sure.
Yeah, now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much for this moment. Hopefully, also will help the people not to live. So I see God, to be honest, in the order in the universe. I don't have to see many books, but when I see the stars, when I see the sun, when I see the moon, when I see Venus, and when I see the water, when I see the air, I see God over there. And I see He's caring of us every day. Yes, and
Yeah, it's all in perfect alignment, All of whatever God produces is never struggling to survive. Like everything is running exactly the way it needs to be. I think the one lesson for humanity is we need to get more in touch with nature, in touch with God, and life will be effortless. We cause too many problems for ourselves as a human species, and the more we can go into our heart, the more we can go into more love based. Like you said, we're bombarded by fear, and that's what's ruling the planet right now. But as we start individually becoming more like Christ, becoming more like Buddha, open our hearts to each other, look at everybody as a mirror, and start finding the love and loving ourselves truly, I think it starts with that. Then we start changing that, and then we can start promoting love everywhere we go because we're full of it and we're overflowing with it.
exactly, it's in us. I was thinking, I don't know what is going to happen in the future, but I think we should be like Buddha. We should be like Jesus Christ. That is the that is it. This is the point.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much.